A man in his mid-20s walks down the crowded street, waving his Rainbow Dash plushie in the air, shouting, "I watch My Little Pony." This is a scenario I'm almost certain you have never seen, not to say it has never happened. Bronies are usually shy or just reserved in how they tell others they are a brony. Most of the time they will not even hint at it, they won't ever mention it, and these bronies are known as closet bronies because they are the only person to know that they like MLP. Not to say that they are inactive in the fandom. On the internet you can have a new face, voice, name, etc. The internet is a place where you can demonstrate exactly what you want to do in a character that you name appropriately, without showing who you are in reality. This is a topic for a different video, but it is the fundamental idea of our private lives. If I conducted a poll, I am certain people would vote to say public and private lives should be separated. This is because you don't want to let other people you see in the public day to day know who you are home alone. There's a good reason for this, but like I said, a different video. So, this relates to bronies because they do not want their peers to know that they are a brony. It is not accepted by what most people see society to be, and they hide it from society. In a high school, or any school scenario for example, if someone were to be open about liking MLP, they would become the weird kid, and be the target for the harassment. It doesn't necessarily have to be a high school, as I stated. Look at Michael Morones. If you don't know who he is, Google him, but I'm not going to go into the details of what happened. At the high school level, it is not normal for students to like MLP, and for whatever reason, students strive to be normal. They don't want to risk becoming unique and become the center of attention, and with attention comes harassment. These unique people get harassed simply from human error. It is really a power struggle. If someone draws better than another person, and the less capable drawer is jealous and envious, then they feel it is necessary to point out the differences in a hostile way. Standard bullying. Bullies are not born, they are created, either by home life issues or because they themselves were bullied. People don't wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to bully this other kid. What happens is they are taught somehow that bullying or taking an aggressive stance that we see as bullying is a correct action or the right action for them to take based on the scenario. Back to topic. Bronies hide the fact that they watch MLP in their private lives. Our private life is very important to our character because it is so different to our public lives. We mold ourselves to fit into the public with as little confrontation and struggle as we can. You may think bullies don't adhere to this because they seek fights, however, it is their way of getting through a social situation easier. So under their perspective, it is the easiest way. One common belief is that being emotional in public is a sign of weakness. Thus, people hide their emotions in their private lives. Many other social limitations for certain traits that make us human, such as feeling emotional, get poured into our private lives rather than being viewed by the public. What this does in relation to having MLP in a person's private life is create a connection between the two. Everything in our private lives gets connected in one way or another. While we sit at home in private at our computers, we have the mindset of our private life. Stumbling upon MLP and watching it, our private life is what judges the show. Meaning, if we were to watch the show with several other people, then we would have a much different opinion of the show. If I had to watch an episode of MLP with some of my classmates back from high school, then I would have deemed it stupid and girly. But in my private life, I don't have the judging eyes of others watching my every move, so I can critique the show based on my real thoughts. I say real thoughts. Well, in public and private, we have a different mindset, meaning calling the show stupid and girly in my public mindset would be my real thoughts, because that is how I would feel with the mindset active. Now, every human is different, so the level of this is variable. You could have two completely different personalities, or you could have the same exact personality, whether you are in public or private. This also ties into how people act differently around different sets of friends. Back to emotions. If you watch a sad movie around your peers, you feel sad on the inside, but may try your hardest not to cry. However, if you are alone, you can cry all you want. No one will know. Since we are more free to express our emotions in public, it allows My Little Pony Friendship is Magic to utilize our emotions. We can laugh, we can faceplant, heck, we can giggle if we want to. In our private lives, we can express who we are and what we believe in without anyone disagreeing with us and creating conflict. Certainly, some can express themselves in public more than others, but at some level this is true for almost everyone. Two more anecdotes for you. The phone rang as it always did. I went to pick it up. The caller ID confirmed it was my sister. Answering the phone, I heard her say my name. From her voice alone, I knew something bad had happened. A bit foreboding, but it gets the point across. Humans can tell the emotions of another human being simply by listening to their voice. The second anecdote. My brother opened the door, stepping into the room. Though he did his best to give me a blank stare, I could tell he got the job. Humans can do it with faces too. With facial expressions, body language, and voice, humans can tell exactly what another human is feeling emotionally, whether it may be excitement or sadness. My Little Pony plays on this ability very well, with the talented animators effectively utilizing facial expressions and body language from the characters as they speak, as well as the talented voice actresses that truly show the emotion behind the character they are speaking for. This can be seen in literally any scene, but I really like the one from Fluttershy in May the Best Pet Win, when Rainbow Dash said she wanted a pet. This comparison only really came to me when I watched a video about a brony giving a speech presentation to non-bronies about bronies. In that video, he had a slide with a picture of a forum post. Brony X said that he would take in Brony Y into his house because Brony Y got kicked out of his own living space, and Brony Y was kicked out of his living space because he was a brony. This level of trust amazed me. I would never take in a complete stranger that I only spoke to through a forum post, but when I add the fact that that person is a brony, for some reason it is less uncomfortable. Not to say that it's not uncomfortable at all, it still is, but it's slightly less. So why? Well, is hearing someone is a trusted corporate official helpful in deciding if they can stay in your home for a weekend, or hearing that they come from a respectable family? Probably. Having no information about a person but having a background to them can help you feel more comfortable around them in a situation like this, a situation where you have to let them into your private life. So, knowing someone is a brony makes us more comfortable around them, as though we may know what their personality is like. But I don't understand. How can you trust someone without ever knowing them? Trust is the foundation of all relationships, so why can one brony trust another brony without ever meeting them? The answer is likely simple. Since being a brony is discriminated, bronies stand together. They get each other's backs when people continuously say being a brony is wrong. So a brony gets kicked out of the place where he lives would invoke this discriminated feeling and cause other persons to want to help and thus give them the benefit of the doubt. Or the answer could be more complicated. I mentioned connections before, our emotions, our trust. These things are stored in our private lives. Being a brony is interesting because I don't have to do something most people on the internet do. I don't have to pretend. Most people on the internet share very little about their private lives. They create a character that they are the voice behind that character. They represent the character any way they want. They can make the character a brave guardian, yet in reality they are too shy to make friends. They can make a mastermind deceiver, but are truly a boring cubicle worker. On the internet, we can create what we want, and most people do. However, as a brony, we can push ourselves into an avatar. We don't need to falsify what we like and how we are. So very many bronies have made an OC, and these OCs have cutie marks that tell what their interests are. Their OC, the character they show us on the internet that represent who they are in real life, is an avatar to who they really are. It isn't so much a made-up character that they want to create or wish they could be, but a real extension of who they are. Our private lives get put inside of these OCs many of us use. Our actual personalities and interests are shared across the web rather than falsified characteristics. So a possible reason bronies feel as though they can trust each other, even if the two are complete strangers, is because they have already seen each other's private lives, their beliefs and interests. They have not seen what that person wants to show about their character, but their whole character that is seen only in our private lives. This is a possible solution for a question I have had: why ponies? I have never understood why it is that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has been the catalyst that has brought so many people together in a way that I haven't seen happen before. Out of all shows, cartoons, ideas, or movements, why ponies? What I have said here is a possible answer, that because this show has been found by our private lives and we are able to relate to it so easily through our emotions and feelings, that we have become attached to it. The Brony fandom is described as standing together, being strong and supportive, because it is real people, not falsified screen names with only the characteristics the human behind the name wants to give the username. With bronies, that screen name is the real person behind it, the real private life that person has with their interests and knowledge. Because we talk to each other, write fanfiction, music, and analysis through our private lives, we appear and truly are best friends, though many of us have never met in real life. Friends are people who we open up our private lives to, and being a brony has us do just that.